Hello. So, we're going to be doing a thing today. You guys will notice this is not going to be the same kind of stream that I'm always doing. However, it will be roughly the same, like, visual format. So, in a little bit, I'm going to switch off to the screen that I'm going to be working on, for the next little bit. And today we're going to be doing some storyboarding. Um, God, that is an old thing. I just noticed something. Oh my lord. Okay, so give me a second. And so, first thing we're going to do. Also, hello Andy, hello Heather, hello Aiden, hello Yuki, hello Robert, hello Nexus, and hello to anybody else I might be missing who might have been here when this was originally supposed to start. Hello Andy. Also, first things first, disclaimer, this is going to be a brand new book. This isn't going to be the continuation of the first one. This is going to be a entirely new book. First thing that we're going to be doing is going to be storyboarding. So, there we go. Storyboard. What's the date today? Also, you guys are going to see me in a weird situation of you're going to see me working. '18th. All right. Oh Lord. Okay. So, first things first. Well, actually, let's start with. Yeah, we'll start with a species. Uh, See, the whole point of all of this, by the way, is going to be for you guys to help me out with this series. So, first things first, we need to figure out what the story is going to be about. But first things first is we need a main character. So, first thing we need to figure out is what species is this character going to be. Now, there's a lot of species in the world of Authority, and a lot of people don't know what they are called. So, if you have an idea for like what kind of animal you would want this character to be, let me know, and I can give you an idea of what the species is. Uh, and by the way, anybody can chime in. I want to think. I want to know what you guys want to see because this is going to be the main character of the story. This is going to be the person whose perspective it's from. I hear wolf, so a wolf would be an Inari. Corgi would also technically be an Inari, but those don't exist in the world of Athorian. So we've got Inari. Aryan. Of course you would assume. Of course you would want to see Burb. Or would want to see a Burb. By the way, this is going to be the fun part because y'all are going to be part of a relatively exclusive club of people that get to hear what these words sound like. For example, the well, that's the thing. Robert, you don't need to be good at making stories. Uh, so that's two for an aria. I've got a wolf or I've got a jackal. So Kirasai. Okay, so both wolf and fox would still be Aryan or Anari rather. So what the Inari are, and I'm gonna close off this at the time being. So I'm going to explain to you what these three species are because we're locked in right now with one of these three species. We just got to figure out which one. So what Inari are a species in the world of Thorian that make up wolves, foxes, and things like wolves, foxes, and various other breeds of large canine. Um, Certain types of foxes, like, well, actually, certain types of foxes would still technically be. Actually, all forms of fox would be Inari. Domestic dogs would fall under Inari, but because of the setting we're currently in for the story, or the setting that the story is going to be in, chances are they're not going to be existing breeds at the time being. So we're stuck with foxes or wolves, so sorry about that. Andy, no corgis. Aryan are a weird thing to explain because they are the majority of flying creatures, i.e., every kind of bird, every kind of bat, but not insects. So, birds and bats, pretty much. And then there is the Kirasai. which personally are my favorite species in the entire world. In fact, a good number of the planned books are based around a Kirasai character or partially Kirasai character. They are everything from, or they're every form of hyena, uh, desert dwelling jackals. So they're hyenas, jackals, and yotes or coyotes. So desert dwelling canines or hyenidae fall under Kirasai. So this is where we're going to put on the vote of what kind of character, like what of these three species. And we're going to make this very simple because we're going to make Inari 1, Aryan 2, Andy, there are pigs. They would fall under Equus. Uh, which is pretty much all forms of barn animal or farm animal like cows and bulls, uh, horses, pigs, sheep, uh, as well as things like deer. Okay, so how we're going to do this is pretty much any kind of hoofed animal, yes. How we're going to do this is you guys are going to put in 1, 2, or 3, depending on which kind of character you want to see. Now, understand all three of these species are going to have wildly different cultures. Inari are kind of weird. Their culture is up in the air because so many different areas that they're from. Aryans are straight up what's it called? They're really, 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 really hard to explain, but at the same time, they're super fucking simple. Kirasai are super hard to explain culturally, but they're sort of like a nomadic desert dwelling thing. So we're going to start the voting now. How you guys are going to vote is you're going to type 1, 2, or 3 in the chat and hit enter. So it's 1 for Inari, 1 for Aryan. By the way, literally anyone can get involved here. That's 2 for Inari, 1 for Kirasai, 1 for 3 for Inari. So it looks like the okay, so now it's Kirasai has 1 vote. Aryans have 2. Inari have 3. Has anybody else not voted? Robert, if you want to get in on this, feel free. Go ahead, cast your vote. So, unless I see another vote come in the next, I'd say 10, 20 seconds, I'll call the vote. Right now, as it stands, it's Inari 3, Aryan 2, Kirasai 1. Oh, wait, no. Inari. Okay, so that's the vote. The main character is going to be an Inari. Give me a minute. What kind of... So, do I want it to be a wolf or a fox? And you guys can just type in wolf or fox. Whichever you want in there. But I think I've already got an idea for where I want... So, we've got one for fox. Ah... I've already had one set in Halar. Like, I've already had a book series started set in Halar. I don't necessarily want the Halaran lifestyle to be the only one there. So Fox type. Oh, my battery's low. That's another thing, by the way. You guys are gonna find that I'm doing this on my Xbox. If that wasn't already very clear. Ah. I've got to figure out whether or not we're going to set this in one of two places. What's the word? One of two places. Sorry, talking isn't my strong suit. If you guys haven't figured out, I am very scatterbrained individual. Uh, do we want to set this in a tribal setting or a civilized setting? The reason I ask this is because in a tribal setting, it's going to be a much darker, much grittier story, and more than likely it's going to be, well, it's bad. Um, a more civilized setting would have its own issues. Uh, it wouldn't be as violent, but it would be more complex story-wise. I need to ask you guys. So far we've got one for civilized. So do we want this character to be part of a civilized society, or do we want it to be from a tribal perspective? That's the next thing I'm going to put to vote with you guys. So we've already got one for civilized, one for tribal. One for or two for civilized, two for tribal. It's 2-2. We need to break it. We need to break the tie. Heather wants to see tribal, so two for civilized, tribal. Uh, Ramon's. Wow. Okay, so Northern Continent. Actually, that was kind of a weird thought because tribal Anari foxes aren't usually a thing. Um, so the idea here is maybe the main character is a survivor of a sacked colony. Okay, so foxes don't usually happen in the northern continent. So okay, by the way, this is how storyboarding usually goes. Uh really quick. So, do we want this character to be male or female or something in between? Also, Ramon, tribal foxes usually don't happen because the northern continent is more of a wolfy, like wolfish setting. Foxes usually would not survive unless it is from the far, 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 far north. And that's not a setting I'm willing to write a story in because it's not it would be hard to explain a story with no dialogue whatsoever because the things. Well, okay. Well, that's one for female and three for something in between. We can already see where this is going to be going. So we've got three for between, one for female. One for male. So that's four for somewhere in between. Hmm. You know what? And since I can't have that word specifically on YouTube for very long, do we want it to? Do we want them to be an affluent tribe? Do we want it to? Hold on. Do we want them to be uh part of an affluent tribe, or do we want them to be taken by an affluent tribe or a secluded tribe? The difference here between is affluent tribe is going to have a large society. They're going to have a small town of their own and all of that. It might be a little easier to explain, but it's going to be a little weirder. Uh Actually, it would be kind of entertaining culturally. Secluded tribe would be a lot simpler because it would be less characters to follow, but at the same time, it's also not as robust a setting. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put this one to vote. We're going to make this an affluent tribe. Okay. Okay, so I need to pee. I will be right back, but I'm going to give you guys something to think about. So, you guys see the numbers that are there currently. That's going to be a vote. As soon as I stand up and go off to head the bathroom, the vote begins. The number of the three things that are currently on screen right now that are going to be highlighted. The highlighted things are what you're voting on. It's going to be the main character's antagonist sort of thing. It's going to be the person who effectively owns him, the main character, owns them. The main character is effectively going to be a civilized fox, or a fox from a civilized society, who was the sole survivor of a raid on a attempt at a colony in the northern continent, who effectively is going to be captured by the tribe and turned into a slave. Okay, by the way, I should point out that vote has started, guys. So far the only vote is for tavern owner. And by the way, tavern owner in a northern continent setting isn't necessarily just a tavern owner. Um it's effectively the owner of both the town's trade authority and the local merchant. Effectively, they'd be the ones dealing with outsiders for the tribe. A merchant would be a traveling merchant sort of thing, so it would be life not so much in a town, but connected to a traveling apothecary. Hunter gatherer would be more inner tribe. So it would be closer to the inner workings of how tribal society functions. Understand, by the way, when I say village or town or tavern or what have you, these are not things that in a northern. These are things that in a tribal society. I'm just giving you the word for it to make it easier. These are just the generics. Tavern owner would be dealing with a lot of people. Merchant would be traveling, kind of apothecary thing, and understand. By the way, this choice will determine how a majority of the setting for this story happens. So far, literally just tavern owner. Everybody's voting one. You get the option of tavern owner, merchant, or hunter gatherer. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, so the secondary character is going to be the main character's owner. We know. All right, male or female for the character for the main character's owner. So, do we want the main character's the person who literally owns the main character, who uh the main character is lifebound too? So far, we've got one for female. Female would be interesting. I don't know. Keep it up, guys. Let me know what you think. So far, it's straight up all female. You guys want a wolfie mama. Okay. 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 Wait, who's still asking for money? Oh, wait, the guy that you got the card from? Nice. Oh. Hey, Google, roll me a 1d20. Roll a 1d10. Okay. So, I had it roll me a 1d10. And so all of you guys can see. Rolled a 2. Okay. Altering it ever so slightly. Okay, so she only has two slaves, one of them being the main character. I'm not going to add the secondary slave as a character yet. Like, I'm not going to add them to the storyboard because they're not going to be a influential character initially. Last thing we need to do for the storyboard, uh or for the character aspect of the storyboard, is names. So I need a name. I need a slightly high society, semi Middle Eastern ish name. I need a civilized Anari name. Trying to think. Because I know a lot of tribal Anari names. In fact, we're going to name her really quick. First things first. Is there an affluent tribe of Anari in the north? There is. So they're Volkshazat, which mean, or she's a Volkshazat, middling class. Tribal name for her. No, I can't give them the name Kala. Keep forgetting. By the way, if you guys saw that word right there, oh shit! Fuck me. Ah! Um, So the tribe name, if you saw this right here, like, hold on. That word. For their language, it means windwalkers. Volkshazat. Which, by the way, Volkshazat for Anari would be walks on wind, which would be translated to common would be windwalkers. But if you saw that word, you probably wouldn't have any fucking idea how to say it. So, the owner's name is going to be Gahalira. The main character is going to call her Gale because he's not going to fully understand how, or they're not going to fully understand how to say that name. Part of the story is going to be language barrier because this is going to be a culture shock story. So, Gahalira Shaharasts. Or Gale, for short. Uh, slave to Gahalira would be Harasa. So that's going to be the name that they call the main character. It's not going to be his real name or their real name. Okay. So this is where this is going to be stupid. The last no. Really quick, I have to figure out something about the main character. Is the main character going to present as male, but with the wrong downstairs anatomy, i.e., because it's going to be flat chested? It's going to be flat chested. That's for one. trying to figure out if it's going to be character presents as female or male. So are they more masculine or feminine? And that's actually going to be part of what causes a lot of the things in this. I need to know if they present male or female. So you guys pick for me. We'll start a vote. Again, I know this is a lot of voting. So Aiden says present male. So male or female? Boy or girl? Okay, so we've got one for each, feminine and masculine. So, feminine, masculine. You did see some characters in point. Okay. Got one for each. So, two for male, one for female. Understand. Okay, two each. So we're still at a tie. Uh, presenting masculine would be more. They try to be male, but their anatomy doesn't quite line up in some ways. That's a very common standard. The other way around would effectively be straight up the character is female, just no, like, they look male. Like, they would have a flat chest, masculine, ever so slightly more masculine body. So, 1, 2, 3, 2. So, so far, female is in the lead. I'll give it another 10 seconds. Cool. Cool. So, effectively, male ish bone structure, but no tits. Like, wrong kind of curves, effectively. Okay. So, uh, Elzvathorian Soul Survivor. Ah, redundancy. Just leaving the title there. Okay. So far, pretty good. Ooh, balls. I hate how it wraps. Give me a number between 1 and 15. Oh, damn it. So, give me a number between 1 and 15. I don't know if you guys can fucking see that. Hold on. Roll me a 1d20. Now, I need a number between 1 and 15. Hell no. So, I can't. We're gonna go with 13. So, originally, the number that was on there was 13. So, alright. So, that means we need 13 chapters. So, how is the first chapter going to start? It's going to effectively be our intro thing. We need some kind of introduction, some kind of ever so slight. Hold on. There we go. That looks better. No, not quite, Dylan. Okay. So we need a we need a baseline for day-to-day interactions. Huh, wait. Yes, I'm gonna go with that trope. By the way, this is... Oh, crap. Again, you guys haven't seen what I've been doing. Alright, make it a little easier for you guys to see. So, right now we're setting up the chapters. The very first two are going to introduce the main character as part of the Volkshazat tribe and explain their connection to Gale. It'll also help flesh out Gale's concept. The second chapter is going to introduce the other slave, a petite Melinari with a mysterious past. And yes, I'm going to be going with that trope. For a reason. By the way, this is more of a what would you guys like to see happen in the chapters? And when we move into actually working on the chapters, which I'm going to do later today, you guys will be like here to witness how and what is being written. Like, you guys will get to have some input on the setting and all of that, how we start, how things are organized. I was thinking I want to make this book entirely from the main character's perspective, this is going to be storyboarding. So, uh, I think I'm going to use the second chapter to introduce the third character effectively. Yeah, kind of. You never know. Although self inserts rarely wind up becoming a thing. Well, you guys will see as we're going what this is all going to be like. Chapter 3. You know what? We're not going to look that far ahead. This is not going to be for all age ranges. This is fuck all. Okay, so I'm not 100% certain how this is going to work. Fuck! So, well, I hate that that's a thing. Okay, so one moment. So, this is one of those things that happens occasionally. We just lost pretty much all of the data that was there. However, it is one of the reasons why I did this as a thing. Give me a sec. Oh my god, I've been fucking. Madam Gale sounds better. Uh, okay. Just in case that doesn't. Come on. There we go. I don't know why it does that. Hold on. It doesn't want to show the fucking. There we go. So this is our working storyboard currently. So the main character's name is going to be Harasa or Haley. Uh, that's going to be the normal name she has. She's going to know Gahalira, her owner, by mistress or correction, Madam Gale. The first wasn't so much a typo. I changed the idea. Uno momento. Oh god. All right, I will be right back. One more time. Need to pee. Okay. Also, by the way, give me a moment, by the way, guys. Apologies everywhere on all of this because there's a thing. By the way, how would you guys like for us to start on the first chapter today? Ooh, I'm glad I did. Oops. That's a lot of penis. Okay. So we're going to call this. Welcome to the North Star. Soul Survivor. Adult. All right. There we go. That should be what you should see. All right. So, this is where my brain dies when I start a new thing like this, because do we want it to start dark? Do we want it to start lively? Do we want it to start with a name, or do we want the main character to be nameless for a little while in the story? What do you guys think? What do we want this to be? How do we want this to start? Oh, trust me. It's in the northern continent. There's going to be murder. Oh, that would be why. Oops. Nah, I didn't get it right. It's red rum. Red rum. Okay. Put that there. Back that down a little. I'm gonna make it simpler for you guys. Do we want to start lighthearted or do we want to start dark? Those are the two options, dark or lighthearted. That'll be the last vote for a little while, and we go from there. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm gonna have to move into one or the other, or not one or the other. I'm gonna have to move from one to the other, you know that. All right. So, lighthearted at first and then darkness? I snapped open. First thing that woke me, nor was it the way that. What is a good way to describe a light brown fur? Hey, Johnson. Monster truck rallies aren't necessarily something I've. God, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So, Hasa, her voice wasn't the first thing that woke me, nor was it how that name she'd given me still grated on my nerves, but rather the volume with which her second Harasa echoed off the walls of my bedchamber. I'm going to reword the way I started that second chunk. Hmm. Night, Robert. When my eyes snapped open, it was the image of a nearly naked Inari woman in the doorway, her amber fur and soot-black markings hardly visible through the haze of sunlight cascading in from behind her. Hmm. How did the writer's nook come about? What do you mean? Like, how did I start writing? Is that what you're asking? Or how did I get into writing? I mean, I've always loved writing. I just figured I needed a way to get into it again. Okay. So far, let's see. Harasa, her voice this wasn't the first thing that woke me, nor was it how the name she'd given me is still grated on my nerves, but rather the volume with which her second Harasa echoed off the walls of my bedchamber. When my eyes snapped open, it was to the image of a nearly naked Inari woman in the doorway, her amber fur and soot-black markings hardly visible through the haze of sunlight cascading in from behind her. It was a familiar sight, but for some reason today I couldn't help the thought that escaped me in that moment. Why do you always wake me before you've dressed yourself? I asked, the words escaping me nearly as quickly as the thoughts could form. I realized far too late that the answer to my groggy question. I realized far too late, however, what the answer. I realized far too late what the answer to my groggy question would be, of course. There we are. I'm back. Huh. All right. given what you guys can read here so far, and if you want, I will read some of it out. There we are. I'll do editing or what have you. Uh, well, yay, Andy. So, so far with what's on screen, what do you guys think? Do you like the current dynamic between uh the character? I think it's good enough at the moment to kind of sort of paint a dynamic between these two characters. Oh, I'm nowhere near done, Heather. It's just, what do you guys think so far? Do you like it? Because this is kind of, I kind of want the dynamic to be slightly stressed out or slightly overstressed motherly character in uh Madame Gale versus ever so slightly younger, or rather maybe ever so slightly more innocent or ignorant character in Harasa or Haley. Aiden, you like the way it's setting up? Also, be right back. I'm gonna go grab myself some food. Not so much adolescent, especially with some of the things that happen in this particular culture. Uh, but yeah, no, like younger or more naive, I guess. Where the fuck did I put my spoon? Found a spoon. Apparently dropped it. By the way, welcome to the eating habits of the North American dumbass. I have soup. Okay. This is also part of what I meant by welcome to the eating habits of the North American dumbass. You all know what this is. No, not so much veggie soup. No, I was talking about these. Aiden, I know you know what this is. Yes. Cheese. American cheese, specifically. It is that thing that the rest of the world calls plastic, but that we call cheese. That, by the way, is a joke. Hmm. Hmm. I didn't have anything quick to make other than soup and cheese. And I didn't feel like cooking today. Yes. Welcome back, Nexus. I already see one thing that I want to adjust. I mean, not much, Nexus. Kind of setting up the... Hmm. Ooh, cheese toast. I know what I was missing. Cheese toast and soup would have been great. Fuck. she couldn't manage to sound intimidating. Even with a voice as soft as the finest silk, there was no arguing with Madame Gale. Well, when something needed to be done. After all, even if she couldn't manage to sound intimidating to say for the life of her. Even if she couldn't manage to sound intimidating to save her life, her tone didn't matter much so long as she could get her paws on something useful. I think I very much like Madame Gale. Why does she why does she come off like Korean mom though? Like tell me she doesn't come off as Korean mom. Just nice sounding voice, nice, gentle, friendly demeanor, right up until you piss her off and then she throws a bucket of water on you, or whacks you with a spoon, or grabs a book. I know, I know you were trying to say she's a mom figure, but I read that as Gale mom finger. And now my brain is dying. I need a hit. I think though that that's where my brain is going to die for tonight. So what I've managed here so far isn't much. It's only like technically 3 paragraphs. Well, uh I think I've done fairly decent here. Anyways, I really don't have an outro for this, so I'm just gonna say nom nom. Oh, woo. Let's save my save his draft.